We've been talking about the truth functional connective that I've called the conditional. And I said that in English, the conditional is normally expressed by using the phrase if, then. But that statement needs some qualification. First of all, there are some occasions on which we use the phrase if, then, but we're not expressing the truth functional connective, which is the conditional. In fact, we're not expressing any truth functional connective at all. For instance, if we use if, then around phrases that are in the subjunctive mood, then often what we end up with is not a truth functional connective. If I say, if I had been 4 feet tall, then I would have been in the Guinness Book of World Records. I'm not saying something, the truth or falsity of which is a product of the truth or falsity of the ingredient propositions. Right? The truth or falsity of, if I had been 4 feet tall, then I would be in the Guinness Book of World Records, or I would have been in the Guinness Book of World Records, depends on things other than just the truth or falsity of my being 4 feet tall and my being in the Guinness Book of World Records. It depends on all sorts of other things as well. So that's a situation where the phrase if, then isn't being used as a truth functional connective. It's being used as a propositional connective. It builds a larger proposition out of 2 ingredient propositions, but there the propositional connective is not truth functional. In order for the propositional connective expressed by if and then to be truth functional, the propositions inside if and then can't be in the subjunctive mood. I should also mention that there are sometimes other phrases in English that are used to express the truth functional conditional. For instance, we sometimes just use the word if. So for instance, I might say to you, the private investigator is eating lunch at New Havana if Walter is eating lunch there. There. I just connected 2 propositions using the word if, but what I'm expressing is a truth functional conditional. It's the same thing as I would have been expressing if I had said, if Walter is eating lunch at New Havana, then the private investigator is eating lunch in New Havana. Right? Those are just 2 different ways of saying the same thing. But in one case, I use the words if and then, and in the other case, I just use the word if. So sometimes we express the truth functional conditional just by use of the word if. We could also use the phrase only if, and that could also express the truth functional conditional. For instance, I might say, Walter is eating lunch at New Havana only if the private investigator is eating lunch at New Havana. And that expresses just the same thing as saying, if the private investigator is eating lunch at New Havana, then Walter is too. Right? They express just the same thing. They're true or false in just the same circumstances. It's just a different phrasing. Different phrasing, same meaning. So, the truth functional conditional, while it's often expressed in English using the words if and then, is sometimes expressed using other words, and it's not always expressed by means of if then. Sometimes if then expresses propositional connectives that are not truth functional. In the next lecture, we're going to talk about biconditionals.